Hello, welcome back to Cards on the Table, the football card podcast. My name's Kieran, and as always, I'm joined by Jack, Ryan, and Pete. Each week, we delve into the world of football cards, from new releases to big pulls, hobby news, and collecting tips. This week, we're going to talk about top summer signings, the rise of card shows, inventive breaks when products are low, and also our hits of the week. So let's jump straight in. So I think one of the first places to start is top summer signings. We saw the first couple being broke last night, and today's been kind of full of a lot of breaks in the set. Ryan, I know you were breaking some earlier. How have you found the first few?
Yeah, pretty good compared to last year's. Obviously, the upgrade of an auto per box now rather than one in every two is a massive bonus. And a good little looking set as well. I think the cards are pretty neat. There's some real nice image variations in there too, which is kind of a parallel but unnumbered too. So again, kind of an extra hit bonus in there. Did 5 boxes earlier. I'm not gonna lie, my hits were not the best, not what I was looking to kickstart up a new set. The guys bought it, had some fun with it. Not too many complaints, but I think we've got a lot more to come out of it. Of course, studying the fantasy checklist quite well today before and during the break. There's some really nice cards come out of there. Added obviously a few nice dual auto hits. I think it's the Chelsea one, Arsenal, and Liverpool. Out of the three, they seem to be the main teams people are chasing out of it. The funny one really because I had some interesting wheels earlier where you look at the teams on there, and if it's a normal UCC product, you'd have like got Malachi, i.e. Barcelona, PSG, the last few. But Barcelona and PSG are quite underwhelming in the set, in the sense of they didn't do lots of big transfers in the summer window, and there's not many auto chances for either. So yeah, it's a bit of a funny, bit of a strange one, bit of fun one. I think we needed it. I think it's the right time. Again, we've been talking about the lulling product, and this one's come slightly later than we wanted and probably needed. But again, it's another new product, and people are jumping at it to have a go at. So yeah, pretty fun, pretty cool.
Yeah, I think Liverpool's obviously the chase, isn't it? For a large part of like Isaac autos. I think if he'd hit the ground running at Liverpool a bit more, it'd probably even more of a chase. But I do like the first worn relics. Obviously the patch from like their first match worn shirt in the new team, which I think is quite a nice addition, really, to it. But yeah, the dual autos, the Isaac and Ekatike dual autos, pretty nice. Yeah, so I think people go quite. Anyone that's collecting for like their own team and stuff always wants the first card where their new players in their own kit, right? Obviously you see, like, I think when Isaac got his move to Liverpool, you saw a massive increase in the number of people that were trying to buy Isaac cards or Isaac rookies and all that sort of stuff. So yeah, everyone's going to be chasing the first Liverpool kit version of Isaac, definitely.
He's
Yeah,
just he's done his first goal.
yeah, that's it, mate. Yeah. People in the chat earlier, to be fair, were kind of asking like, "What's the deal with this? How come it's quite sought after set?" And I literally said that. I said, and some of the guys backed me up in the chat saying it's the especially from the rookies as well. It's the first cards that they've got the new. Some of them anyway, got the new kit on the new team. So quite desirable again. Some low number cards to find in there. I think it's to 99 or less again. So quite a low print run. And someone said in the chat earlier that in the stream actually was quite funny that there was already an Isaac to 5 on eBay auto. And one of the guys who was a Liverpool collector was like, "Oh, really?" Jumped back out and went, "Lads, I've just bought it. Cheers for that." I think it was for 260 as well. So very good price point for, again, a paper set. So again, still doing some good numbers because it's a paper set, but again, it's an Isaac auto and his Liverpool shirt. So Liverpool collectors very keen. Like Pete just said, I think he needs to score a few more goals to maybe make that card worth its while at 260.
I think some of these paper set products though are doing really well in the market at the minute. Summer
Yeah.
signings clearly looks like it's doing okay. Top Prem looks like it's doing okay. How does the quality of the cards feel from what you've ripped? Obviously, we know it's a paper set. We've just touched on it, but and they look really nice. Like they're quite a smart design, but do they feel like good quality nevertheless?
Yeah, they're solid. They're very, very similar to a knockout, like we said before. We were expecting to look at the checklist and the box breakdown. They are very similar to knockout. the weight as well. You can kind of, when you break them, you can feel where the hits are in the packs. They're slightly heavier, so you can you could kind of pick and place them out and save the hits till the end. But yeah, for a paper set, they are good quality. And they look very, very nice too. There's even a couple of cards I thought, oh, is this a parallel or not? Because they had a slight little tint to a bit of a change of colour in the inserts. Yeah, again, I think like Kieran just touched on as well when we said it in the last episode, one of the last episodes, that again, Topps nailed on the fact that they're making the sets fresh, bringing new ideas in with that. Again, like that relic with the first worn shirt, of course, probably most going to be when they hold the shirt up for the photo, stuff like that. It's going to be out of that, and it's very, very good thinking again from Topps to add something fresh and different in for a summer signing set. I think it's a really good addition. Again, and it adds another exciting chase to the set as well. So yeah, it's been a really good set so far. I think it's been well perceived by a lot of people. I think before we went live here, I've watched a few more people do it, and they're doing really well. So yeah, fair play to Topps again. Really, a really good set.
Yeah, it's been a nightmare from a checklist point of view, putting it together, and also knowing when the launch was, because obviously it was a on-demand product, so it didn't follow the same. Not that a lot of the kind of launch schedules follow their actual timeline that they do anyway, but it's one of them where they never really gave a date. They gave a date for when you could kind of like order it off the site, but then after that, they never really gave a date as to when it was going to launch. So it kept getting pushed back, and then it came out of nowhere, which was always fun. And yeah, had some fun with the rookies on it as well. Trying to kind of make sure that I've got the right rookies within the actual checklist as well, because again, you don't get that information, frustratingly. So yeah, it's been quite a fun one.
See, obviously, we looked at the checklist earlier. I looked at the actual Topps checklist as well, and they've got obviously rising stars. And I
Yeah,
feel like some of the rising stars in there have been rising stars for a few years now. Like Evan Ferguson, Noah Darvich, of like these rising stars
Marcus
feel like,
Rashford.
yeah, yeah, Rashford, yeah,
Hey, he's actually pulling his weight a little bit recently for Barca. To be
yeah,
fair to him,
yeah. So
that's what happens
yeah,
when you move away from United.
yeah,
shock.
I can see why it was confusing for you.
Yeah, it's hard
Excuse
as
me.
well, because obviously you look with that sort of thing. I tend to look at kind of previous sets to go, okay, there's the rising stars in the previous set where they're rookies, and a lot of them were, and it's like, okay, well, that's all kind of got to go off. So yeah, I ended up watching a large number of breaks to work out which ones the rookies were. So yeah, it's always fun. So hopefully Topps kind of start giving us a bit more information on that. But yeah, it's well received. Seen obviously quite a lot of people looking at the checklist and stuff as well. And like I say, it's at the minute there's not much out there, so it's a really good time for it to drop in. And it's not a super expensive box. I think they were £100 when they're at retail. Obviously they'll be much higher than that now, but it's not a super expensive box. It's cheaper for people to get into the actual break themselves as well. And if you kind of doing like full teams and stuff, obviously there's 31 teams in it, so it's not that many spots as well. So it's a nice one, and it's less pressure for breakers to break it as well, which tends to make it a bit more enjoyable.
Yeah, I to be fair, I had a little window period earlier of about 2.5 hours. I thought I'd have a little go at it while we literally landed. I was like, right, let's get straight on it. And I did 5 boxes in just under 2 hours. So got a good amount out open in a short period of time. I sudden death for the last 2 because they were going really well. And I said to the guys, like, if you want to get your last 2, I've got like a time scale of R4. Let's try sudden deaths. And they sold really well too. So we opened some really quick fire ones. It was just a shame we didn't get the hits we wanted. But again, we got plenty more. So hopefully we'll hit a few bangers for the guys that keep coming back to us, and that'll be good fun. And hopefully pull one of these big dual autos or one-on-one. That'd be nice. I'm in a bit of a dry spell at the minute, so it'd be nice to get one back out of the bag. I'm gonna lie. I'm gonna lie.
Get Pete opening them for you.
Yeah, you might have to come round, mate. Come round this week and have a little go for me. Need your magic touch. Or lend me that
Yeah.
wizard's hat.
Got a good system.
Yeah, one of the other sets that I think we started seeing a couple broke again last night. We're talking now on Monday evening. Started seeing a couple broke on the Sunday. I think TFF started to do some. But I think they were first off the line boxes, so they tend to get them slightly earlier. But I think this week we'll start to see Panini Noir finally drop. It's been a long time coming. It's kind of a different end of the spectrum. It's obviously a much more premium set. I'll see kind of takes a bit of a cinematic theme for the cards themselves. Obviously, I think it's been like 6 or 8 years since they last did one. 2016 it was the last Panini Noir. So it's a long time that it's been waiting, and yeah, it's going to be a very high end set and hopefully worth the wait. The actual boxes themselves, like I say, around about £1,000 ish, but they do come with 3 autos, 2 relics, and 10 numbered. So you're getting a lot of hits in one of them boxes.
Were they due out in
Yeah.
2017 and just kept pushing back to 2023?
Probably,
Feels
yeah.
that way.
This is it, right? I think it's the thing with like Panini Noir, like it's great that it's coming out now. I don't know whether it's like the question of this week. It's like, do you feel like the Panini Noir set? Are you as excited as you should be for it? Like I've seen a lot of people actually on Instagram and other platforms posting polls to say, are you gonna is this a set that you'll be buying into? And strangely enough, from actually like looking at the responses, it's been overwhelming on the no side and compared to the yes side. So it'll be really, really interesting to see, who's going to be running it and how it will perform in the market. I think reality is that it will do very well. Like people at the end of the day they want to chase high risk, high reward products, because for some people, you hit big enough, it can financially change your situation. And as I said, if there is any of you out there who collect and keep these big, massive cards, then hats off to you. You are you're the collectors of the hobby that we all want to get to know a little bit more. I'm sure you've got fantastic collections, but yeah, I would be really. I'm interested to see how it performs, because just that delay has just felt like a hell of a long time. I don't want it to be an anticlimax. I'm sure it won't, but yeah, it'd be good to see what hits come out.
Yeah, I mean they've got some. It's obviously very, very high end. So you've got obviously a lot of the kind of the high end legends as well. So you've got like Nesta, Del Piero, Shearer autos. I mean, who doesn't love a Shearer auto? Pirlo, Iniesta. You've got a lot of kind of very kind of high end cards within there. You've obviously got the standard Messi patches and autos. I think Ronaldo's in it, but he's got a patch in it. Not an auto, but he does have a patch. So yeah, you kind of have your kind of big chasers, but yeah, I know what you mean. I think it's one of them where you kind of feel if you kind of standing still too long, the amount of stuff that Topps is releasing, albeit that it's a bit of a lull at the minute, obviously people then just kind of keep going back to that same brand, and they'll have a bit more kind of longevity with Topps maybe, and if Topps start to bring out some high end sets as well, quite close to that. I know we know Deco's coming at some point, obviously not at the same price point, but still is a bit more of a premium set. It's it'll be interesting to see what they do, how well they do, like you say.
Well, if it continues on the way it is at the minute, these Prem hobby boxes will be nearly as expensive.
Yeah, I mean,
Seems to be going up and up and up.
That's the thing, right? Because what you'll find is obviously people are breaking a large number of them, so then they start to become a bit rarer, and some people hold on to them, and then the price shoots up, right? So, yeah, I think Jack, you were happy about the current Prem price, right?
Oh my god! I had looked at it recently. Ryan's broke a lot more Prem hobby than I have, but we have 2 boxes of the Prem hobby we spoke about briefly, I think, on one of the previous pods that we've done. But it's incredible when you look at the shift in price. When you look at where it just shows you how the popularity of a product can really drive its demand. When you look at this like Prem hobby set, it's a paper card set again, selling incredibly well on the market, holding its own out there. I think I see people start streams and it's Prem hobby, and before you know it, they're in the teens, the 20s plus, because people have just got that really keen interest. But when you're looking at upwards of nearly £300 now to, and it's all readily available for people who I'm sure look online and check the prices of boxes, that is incredible for that set. It's, and then you've got, again, I'm going to talk about this, there's 2 halves to all of this from a buyer's perspective and a breaker's side of things. You've got the breaker then who thinks to himself, maybe, actually it's still such a high end in demand product, but I might take a stab on that and get back into a stream for my buyers to come and get involved in the set. But then you've got to charge different prices, because you're at £300 a box nearly in comparison to, let's say, 200 when it first came out. And it's really then bringing people on the journey, because they've got to understand they've got to pay a bit more than what they were paying. and you lose. I feel like you get a bit of an imbalance there, sadly, sometimes when product just gets significantly higher in price. That one in particular, we're not talking 20-30 quid, we're talking nearly the best part of £100 increase. It's just it's scary. But again, is that also another reflection on how well the hobby's doing and how well it's performing out there across not just Whatnot but other streaming platforms? People are just well and truly got their teeth stuck into card collecting at the minute for whatever reason it is. For for themselves, it's mental, really. Never ever ceases to amaze me. I think when you look at like the changes of just what goes on within this whole card collecting world, crazy.
Yeah, you kind of feel like it's going to hit a peak at some point, but that peak just never seems to come.
Exactly. Yeah, it's exactly that. Yeah, mad.
I do wonder whether, obviously, I think I do wonder if the lull in product has contributed towards that, because obviously everyone's desperate for something to break, and I think that obviously plays into it a little bit. The Sidemen breaking about a couple of hundred boxes of it probably didn't help with the stock levels as well. But I think it will be interesting when they start to launch other products, and obviously they're going to have a lot of product, right? If they do hit their targets that they're going to by the end of the year, so will we then see the Prem start to drop a bit when demand comes off, and then like you say, it becomes a set that's that people want to break again because there's enough margin in it to make it not too expensive for effectively a paper set, right? Albeit that it's been well received.
Yeah, definitely. And at the end of the day, like people, as a breaker, I think one thing I've seen as well and I genuinely believe across majority of breakers do quite well is you use we try to reflect price points that you see other breakers breaking the product at. And, there's a big it's massive out there. It's critical, to be quite honest, when you look at it, because somebody could break a product at £2, £3, £4, £5 more than maybe 50% of other breakers are breaking a product at. And I feel like people, amongst breakers, we do actually do quite well at trying to set those prices so that people see transparency and the fairness across being able to come in and buy into a stream. But when the price of the product itself increases, it just makes that significantly hard for us to ultimately be able to keep up. And there is going to be times where across breakers, some will get it cheaper and some will be more expensive than others. So, but I think we're doing our best out there for those who are listening in to really try and keep it fair. But it's just it's aggressively growing for all the right reasons, I think, in the hobby. Yeah.
Do we have
So I wanna
any
look-
line of sight yet around when the Chrome variant of Prem's due?
Start of Feb, it got pushed back to the start of Feb, apparently. Word on the street, so that'll impact it as well, right? Because it's effectively a premium version of it. But
See, I'm looking at a different point of view. How would you feel? Like, obviously, you guys, I'm sure, have bought into Prem breaks as well when they were kind of burst out and selling well. From a buyer's point of view, how would you feel going into or buying into a break? Would you buy into a break where, say, a breaker's probably set the price point if you're doing full teams at £15 to £20 a team, rather than what you used to paying of £10, say, a team on average? Would you then rebuy into that?
Personally, I think that's knowing the changes, like knowing now more than I ever knew with the changes in the market. Yes, I think I would, because I know how aggressive it all changes in terms of like price point of product. Maybe if you ask me, but that is a very fair question. If you asked me that maybe 4 or 5 no, before I was a breaker,
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. You're still
probably
looking at it as
not.
kind of a
No.
breaker point of view because you know what you know. But what about if you're just a pure buyer into breaks on the platforms and you kind of used to, and you bought a lot into breaks where they say 10, 12, £13 a team?
Well,
Would you then
I'd
feel
want to.
comfortable paying a
Yeah,
lot more than that?
I'd want to be in the same place I was buying it at. Let's say for if it was out for a week, 2 weeks, and I was buying it consistently at that price, I wouldn't really want to change my
No.
stance, because that was my comfort and maybe the reason why I initially got into that break. But yeah,
And your value for money as well, isn't it? Like you're thinking, I've got good value for that. I'm going to get the same, out of what I was paying into beforehand, but going to be paying a lot more now. I don't
Yeah.
think I'd feel comfortable. I think that's, again, as a breaker, that's where the hard margin is, and getting your stock cheap enough to be able to feel comfortable selling it at the right price as well. Because again, I obviously I've mentioned in previous podcasts that I kind of price mine a lot of if I was comfortable buying into it myself as a buyer's point of view. And I don't think I probably would. I think it's a real tough, like I said, it's a tough time for people who are buying it at the price it's at now to break it, and the people are having to, for the short, like the lack of products out there at the minute, they're forced to, in a sense, to keep going. But I think it'd be really tough to do that. Um,
Yeah, I agree. I agree, and I think one of the biggest things I've seen across the last week and a half as well, which is, and it's not too much off topic to this, but a lot more people, buyers, asking questions about the product, what it is, about the price point. Is it for a box? Is it for multiple boxes?
yeah,
And I'm probably getting it consistently now.
I
And the
agree. Yeah,
one thing I would say, hands down, and if it could be any use to any buyer who's buying a break, please, whatever you do, go and have a look and figure out what it is you're buying into. Do not
100%, yeah.
come in and buy into something that you don't necessarily know or have a full understanding with. For example, Prem Hobby. It's not your Prem Hobby set that you just know. It's not your Premier League packs you're getting in stores. Sometimes I know
Yeah.
it sounds daft, but you get asked questions about that. Is this the same as what I get in the supermarket? No, it's not. These are collector's items that become rarer and they have significant differences to them. And if there's anything I can say, and it's not trying to teach people how to suck eggs, it really isn't. It's just go and do a little bit, just a little bit of like, I'm really interested in that. I might go and buy some Prem Hobby. Okay, I understand now. The people who are selling the Prem Hobby online on Whatnot or Fanatics or wherever it is, they're selling this because it's this price point and it offers this level of value towards what you may be able to get. So, I say it all the time. I'm more than happy to answer any single question anyone has. If you're new to Whatnot or whatever it is, and you want to ask about what the hobby is, what's on offer, we have Fanta up literally consistently now for every break we do because we have information about what's within the cards. People make decisions based on what's in a spot that they might obtain, whether it be on an auction, etc. So just be very aware is all I say, and ask questions before you make decisions in
Yeah,
collecting.
I'm a big preacher in that. I always say, ask the streamer before you buy into any break. Just ask them questions. That's what they're there for as well at the end of the day. I mean, don't get me wrong, that obviously streamers are there. At the end of the day, we're salesmen at the end of the day. We are there to sell a product. Sometimes and we're all probably guilty for it, of over kind of hyping a product here and there and to get sales, etc. But, we can only tell you what it says on the tin at the end of the day. And like you just said, like today, I didn't do loads and loads of research really into the summer signings set going into it today. It kind of just dropped. I was like, I've got to get on this now. Let's get on it. And I had Fanta up absolutely constantly. It was quick enough and easy enough to use. The fact that as soon as I'd span and say someone got Bayern Leverkusen, I was quick enough to just go into a different browser, click on Bayern Leverkusen, go, oh, you got Bayern Leverkusen, get so and so has this or towards, even before the next one had kind of sold out. So I was really making a keen effort, not just for them, but also for me, to make me understand what's in the set too. So I can tell people, right, you've got Bayern Leverkusen. Yeah, but you know what? This actually ain't too bad. You've got 6 players in there. 2 of them have autos. So actually, it's quite a stacked one compared to, say, Inter Milan, who have 1 player with no autos in, for example. So trying to help people feel good about some of the spots they've got too, and also giving me the knowledge I need I think it's also key, not just for buyers, but also for sellers to understand what you're selling and what's in there. So I think it's a really good point, to be fair. And like you said, I'm seeing it a lot more. Like today, it was constantly people in going, what can I get in this? Has this got an auto? What's your guarantees? What's in the box? So I think people are more into now. I think as well as they're getting closer to the period where people are saving money for Christmas, etc., of making sure they're getting value for money before buying in. And I think that's only a good thing for everyone, to be fair.
No, I agree. And to be fair, it's one of the reasons that it started Fanta, right? Is to kind of bring that education piece, because before everything was everywhere and different sites had little bits of information, other sites had other bits of information. It was both obviously on the breakers side, because what I never wanted to do, and it was something that was quite early on as well, it's like I obviously want to make it easier for breakers to access information, but I don't want it to make breakers lazy, because they need to know the product. If they know the product, they're more confident when they sell it. They can answer the questions that they have, and they sell better, right? And you can quite easily see sometimes when you're on Whatnot, the ones that do know a lot about the product and the ones that don't, and it comes across quite a lot. So yeah, that education piece is something that I'm kind of really keen to push on, to try and give as much information about each of the sets as possible, so that yeah, like you say, you can answer the questions. If it's also tough as well with brand new sets, right? Because like the layouts of the packs, the layouts of cards, where your hits are, all that sort of stuff is all different every single set almost. So it is going to take some time to get in, and if we can kind of help in any way possible, it's always beneficial.
And I think it's the other way around
Yeah.
as well, though. It's like the point we were just saying about, if you're wanting to educate yourself and understand what values in a set, it's really, really useful for you to be able to go and look at a new set and think, what are my opportunities here? What's different about this set to another set,
Mm.
for example?
Yeah, I'm kind of already doing that now, trying to in advance. Obviously, I know what I've got coming in. Obviously, from the guys are saying you've got this and this coming in soon. For example, my biggest one, my worry at the minute, breaking wise, is the Ajax set. I mentioned it again earlier. Someone asked about, do you know what price your purse was going to be? And I said that, to be fair, until the kind of drop and the market settles, you don't kind of know what it's going to be. Obviously we get a price it releases at, but again, with your fees and everything else you're challenging with, you've got to let the market kind of settle first. And like we spoke about before, it's only a 22 player checklist, and if it's going to be kind of the same price point that kind of buying was, you're talking £600-700 realm. You've got 22 spots to sell. It can be a very, very expensive break. And for me, I'm already thinking, how can I make that again more value, the right value for money for people, and buying? How can I break it down even better? It's a real tough one. It's really got my brain twisted at the minute, to be fair. And then that's even advanced. That even dropped yet. We even know proper date is coming. But I'm already trying to pre-think that to give people the best value for money, and it's going to be a really tough one. But again, I'm trying to explore it a little bit to see better ways I can do it. And I might have even just turned around and say, I might have to sell them as personals. Just
Yeah.
whoever really wants one and wants to pay the right amount, and it's a fair price, and I might have to just do that. It's what you can't. I don't think you can necessarily break everything. I think that's the thing here. Uh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
there's certain things you can't, and I think things you just got to just say to the collectors who wants a piece of this. Come and get it. I think that's it sometimes.
Yeah, you do. You end up trusting a bit of it's trusting audience in the end. It's trusting the right people who want to buy the right things, because you tread on such a fine line. If not, like you said about your worry about there, you talk about thinking about having to split it out.
Yeah.
And then you even look at, like, you can use, like, again, speaking, we're giving Fanta's getting a lot of credit, by the way, Kieran, all right, this week. But you think
Yeah.
about, like you talk about, for again, it's too heavy on breakers, but when you work out valuations for your box price, etc., and what you need to be at to make sure it's fair for you and fair for a buyer. But you can't then go into 50, 60, 70 splits, because you might think to yourself, well, that actually feels a bit ridiculous to me, so I've got to stay at 40 splits. But actually, a
Yeah.
40 splits could be 10, 12, 15 quid. So it's like, it's a really, really fine line, but you'll get there. Like, if anyone knows how to do it, good old Brian knows how to do it. Seasoned
Yeah.
professional now.
Yeah, I'd say it's already twisting melons. It's a good thing that I've got the problem, and it's again, the thing is, like I say, I'm a big believer of its value for money, and if I were to buy in it or not, But the thing is, the right person out there, there might be some real die-hard Ajax fans out there and collectors that might come in and go, "I'll happily pay £30 for a spot in this." But it's
Yeah.
that guilt thing for me. Like, I personally wouldn't, but there probably is somewhere that will do it. So it's kind of one of them. It's chalk and cheese in it. It's like you try it, it might not
Yeah.
work. You try something different. But like I say, it's a collector's world, and some of the prices you see some of these cards go for now. I mean, we went to the card show the weekend, didn't we, Kieran, and seen some of the big cards there and the money, and before looking at the money being passed around, it's like it's a lot of money. So there is a buyer for everything at the end of the day, and there's someone that wants to collect that set. So I'm sure it'll be fine. It's probably me just overthinking it, but again, I'm just looking in advance and trying to. That's again was the whole point is I'm trying to like have a look at the set, learn it, do the research before I go on to sell it. Basically, that's the main point
Yeah.
for us there.
Yeah.
Yeah. That makes sense. I suppose talking card shows, then it was kind of the next topic that I was going to kind of come on to. So suppose the rising card shows. So I suppose not to kind of keep bringing it back to Fanta, but we obviously have a section on there that lists all of the card shows, as many as we can that have, at least have some aspect of football cards around the UK. And one thing that I've definitely noticed, especially over the last few months, is a massive increase in the number of card shows now, which is great for the hobby, right? It's great. It gets people in. One big thing about the hobby has always been a very kind of community driven. Do you know what I mean? It's always been very heavy on the community side. It's always been really nice atmosphere, and it always is the case when you go to a card show as well. So it's great that these things are kind of increasing. I think they're increasing in size as well. So obviously, as Ryan mentioned, we were at London Card Show on Saturday, which was a great event. It's huge. And that's not even the big one. Do you know what I mean? The big one at the XL next year is absolutely massive. So, yeah, I've definitely seen a massive increase in number of card shows. Does it excite you? Are you happy about that sort of thing?
Yeah, I think card shows are fantastic. Like they're brilliant. They're great. They're a great day out. I know, like even Ryan's bought you bought the little one, haven't you? Like
Yeah.
the family to the card shows.
Yeah.
People bring their family to them and have a really good day out. You get to meet loads of people, like people who have bought from you, people who you've bought from. There's so many amazing different types of cards. I'm sure you two have got a massive amount of info on London on Saturday and how that was. Wouldn't it be great if you could also, I might actually think about creating, like how people used to do yard sales in villages. I might put posters around my local village and say, right, if you've got any football cards, put them on the Indian Drive. And then on Saturday, people can just walk around and have a browse.
Yeah.
That's how, see if we
You've
can get
got
as
a fair
big as
few
that.
collectors your way, though, haven't you?
Yeah,
There's
to be fair.
some displays.
Yeah, I know. But I mean, I've only, well, I know Peter, not speaking for Peter, I've only ever really been to one, but it was brilliant. Yeah, but it'd be great to hear about what you two saw on Saturday because I imagine London's, well, it's the capital, right? I would imagine it was full of incredible cards and lots of people there to talk to.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd say we saw a number of very nice cards. I think there was one stand that was just full of like flawless eminence. Like honestly, it was ridiculous. I think it was a 30 grand Ronaldo card there. And that wasn't even a 101.
Oh, is that why your car's for sale then, Kieran? Is that
yeah, and the house is gone. But I've got a great Ronaldo card.
Yeah. Was that even the one we seen where there was a showcase? I can't remember who the guys recorded. They had a showcase there. Honestly, it was full of everything was super fractal, one of one.
Oh yeah, no, yeah, I remember that one.
Honestly, there was a case there. Oh, these guys, right? It was unbelievable. We stood there for ages going, "Wow, look at the cards in this." It was a super fractal galore, unreal card. Even Kieran asked a couple of times, "How much is he?" Went off sale, mate. Off sale. It was like it was just shared to showcase all the cards. I'd rather say anything. Like,
yeah,
there was not saying anything.
There's a
Final
to
boss.
5.
Yeah,
There was a to 5 Haaland marks of excellence, which was absolutely beautiful. Not for sale. Not for sale. I'm like, okay, fair play. I think we went up to 1 and I'm there like, do you buy cards as well? I got a couple of like Fateras and stuff. I'm like, oh yeah, great. It's like, oh yeah, no, I'm all good. And look down he's got a 1-of-1 Hamilton auto. I'm like, yeah, that's probably why I doesn't care about my Fateras.
Price was 40k, and he actually said, "I've literally sold this half an hour ago." I was like, "Wow!" And it was actually a long story short. We see it on Instagram later on. It was actually the local boys, Jake's Breaks, who actually bagged it up. As well.
Yeah.
I was like, wow, that's unbelievable. But yeah, what a card. That is 1-of-1. It's Hamilton from Lights Out. That's class.
Yeah, that was a good event though. It was a really good event, and like you touched on the aspect of obviously meeting up with people and stuff. It was obviously we met up with the Midas boys, who are good lads. First time I've met them, but yeah, really good lads. And then there was a few others like Bogan, Tubman. A few others that obviously you speak to on a regular basis through Whatnot, and you kind of feel like you know them. And obviously Ryan does know a large number of these anyway from previous kind of card shows and stuff. But yeah, always really welcome him, and really good show, really good event, and a lot of kind of coverage of not just football, Pokemon, and all sorts there.
Yeah,
Really
it was the third one of the year I've been to. I think I missed one of them because obviously now London it's on the tin now. It says, Europe's biggest card show, and it is a belter. And Harry, who runs it, does a really good job of organising it. And you can tell as well through the year that he's made these little tweaks here and there just to improve it every time round. It's really good. I'm not even just. I think it's also the personnel that are also attending these card shows now that make it even more popular. For example, obviously we've seen the Sidemen boys; they were vending there this year. Obviously bought their own crowd. They even had their own queue for their stamp. Really cool with Randolph with Ace next door as well. It was good to see. So they're going to bring some more personnel to the card shows. And people like the Sunday, Gianfranco Zola was there. You know, people like that showing up. And again, we spoke about the Midas boys. Dan told us on the Saturday he had something massive planned. And them guys, I always love to surprise and do a really good job. They're great streamers, by the way, and great guys. I didn't realize how big it was when I watched it at the time. I was like, wow. And Dan being a Chelsea fan, that would have been absolutely amazing for him. He said, I literally spoke to him after, and he said, yeah, it was like a dream come true. I was like, yeah, fair play. So that personnel now attending these card shows too makes them really, really exciting. Again, even for some not card collectors, I think these big personnel to come in might even draw them in, and then look around and go, you know what, I fancy having a go at this, or I fancy buying a box or so from a certain vendor, and really and getting more people into it too. So yeah, it was a really good one. Again, 4th one of the year, and I think they're just getting better and better. And like I said, it's going bigger next year at the XL, and I think that'll be just as good because Harry does know how to run a good car show.
Yeah, I'm glad we got the XL tickets about 5 months ago because we were meant to be
Yeah,
going to one for this year.
you
So.
boys were meant to be going to the last one, didn't you? What happened there?
Yeah, well,
August 25 in the writing books, April 26.
yeah. So, yeah, if anyone's going to that, I'll be there.
Yeah.
I bought tents as well to go the night
Yeah,
before because
bought the early bird tickets, didn't you? You lot.
I
He's
got the
booked
early
in for
bird tickets.
27 and 28.
Yeah.
Oh no! I'm glad it sounded brilliant. I saw a bit of Zola, as I say, and I think again I can only go refer to like MK Card Show, but I love how like I don't know how you boys could probably correct or how they did it in London, but you know they do like all the detail in it is really like it's really quite big, like the layout as well of the card show, how you walk around a card show and what you see as well. I think stuff like that's quite cool. You don't want too much of like a heavy dominance on one particular sport, let's say, and then you lose that when you're probably going around. I don't know. You've got well over half of the stands left to go. Did you see a fair balance when you was there of like it wasn't too overpowering at like stages? You actually continued to see like a mixture of like let's say football predominantly for us on this channel, but like other bits as well. Kept your interest keen, I suppose, as you're walking around.
Yeah. I'd say they laid that out quite well. So they kind of got it on 2 floors. I think the bottom floor was all Pokemon and TCG and bits like that. And then the top floor was still more Pokemon, but then also all your sports, American sports, everything really. But they have laid it out well because it wasn't like there was kind of, I suppose, pockets of like football altogether, but then there was like maybe Pokemon next to it, and then a bit further along there was more football. So it was mixed up. So you did kind of go around, and there was a lot of space as well in between because you know it can get kind of trying to get to a table sometimes when it's absolutely rammed and stuff. It's tricky, and obviously everyone has to carry all of their card collection, which means everyone's got backpacks on, which then makes it even harder to get into stuff. But
you can't see
no,
nudging
they did it
someone
really
else
well.
was nudging you at the time. It's like we spoke about this actually when we were there because it was your first one. The third one I've been to this year, and I was saying that me and my partner went to the first one this year. That was actually our first card show, the first one was a card show this year. And when we went that time round, we mentioned how busy it was. We mentioned how we could barely get to any of the stalls because it was so busy. The tight walkways between each stalls felt really tight, and it was like having to squeeze in at the side and go past everyone. And we mentioned obviously we have kids and we bring them to the field. We really said we probably wouldn't be able to ever bring them, especially with our 2-year-old as well. Quite struggled, but like this time round it was probably didn't feel as busy as that one anyway. But too, like you said, it was laid out a lot better. And they also had stuff for the kids to do in the middle on the main stage. Like there was Halloween time, so they had like a lot of sweets being given out, a lot of little events for kids to do. So that was quite cool. And we did actually see a big influx of people pushing push chairs and bringing families too. So like you said, they always return to family events, which is fantastic as well. Because again, for me, I tend to quite a lot because I stream to quite a few. It's another day or 2 days necessarily from the family. So for me, being able to bring them to something which I have done to a lot this year is even better for me. It gives me more of an excuse and more attempts to get to these shows, which is really really cool.
Yeah.
So again, I think on again props to Harry. Going to 3 of the 4 this year that I've been to, this one was probably the best laid out. I noticed certain things again because like you say, there was the eBay Live section where what was this time in their own at the back, which is pretty cool. Then the opposite side of the top floor, you had Tops and Fanatics there. So there was a bit of both going both sides there. So one wasn't isolated and missed out. You kind of had to go to both to see it all, which was quite good. The position, like I said, the Sidemen boys are going to get a lot of traction in a really good area where people could get to them about the queue being in the way of other people passing by. Yeah, it was really well laid out. And I think, like you say, he's improving it better and better every time, which is great to see. And it was a really good one.
Yeah, no, I'd agree. And I'd gone to Yorkshire Card Show, I think, a couple of weeks ago, with the family and stuff. And I'd say that was, I think that was getting to the point where the popularity had got quite high, that was again quite tight and stuff. And obviously I've seen that they're doing the NEC next year, which I think will be a much bigger location. It's only like props to the popularity of the show. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That getting more and more people there all the time now, and it'll get to the point where, I mean, London Card Show itself was sold out before the actual event itself. So it shows that there's constant popularity there, and I am excited for the XL, because the XL is a big jump, right? It's a
Yeah.
massive jump to on what they've done before, and again, it just shows the strength of what's going on in the market at the minute.
Yeah, and like I say as well, London obviously now they can't physically do it in one day. They do it over three or four now sometimes.
Yeah.
So again, that as well, to fill that out in 3 days is fantastic. And like I said, the popularity, there's more popping up. Like for example, next year in May we have the new Leicester card show. I mean, we already have a Leicester card show, but we're having a sports only one, which is for us is fantastic because obviously, like we keep saying, most of the shows around the country are dominant by Pokemon because it's just a massive platform and there's a lot of more people into Pokemon. It just is what it is. You know, you can't help that. It's a card show. You can't not entertain some of them sometimes. You've got to provide for everyone that's into cards. So, but like you say, for us as sports and mainly football collectors, it can be frustrating sometimes where it is heavily dominated by Pokemon. But the uprising sports only card shows is going to be really cool. So obviously we have MK, which is so good, so
Yeah.
good because it is sports only, and you get all the same collectors in the same place, only there for one thing. The social, so that's why they also call it the sports social because it is like a social event. Like Jack was saying, it was a lot of real big friends groups coming down to one place to meet. Again, not just to buy cards, again, like to meet friends that have found online on these platforms and through collecting, which is only really good news. And like I said, the Leicester one be another one, and it's real local to us. So that's gonna be great, and hopefully we can go and support that too.
Yeah,
There's
definitely.
a rise in sports only, which is really really good news for us all too.
Yeah. Yeah. No, really good, and long may it continue because they're great days out.
Yeah, they're fantastic. Yeah, and like you said, meeting and even connecting as well. You know, sometimes some of these shows ain't just for buying and selling. There's for people connecting, which is really good. And then we spoke about it as well. It was interesting because, like you say, this one spoke to a couple of vendors, didn't we, Kieran? And then a couple were interested. And so we said, "How busy you been? You've been doing well." And some of them said, "Well, to be fair, this time round, we've had a lot of people selling more than buying." And it might have been down to the time of year, I don't know, but it was an interesting aspect whether people are offloading for a reason or is it getting tired. So there was a couple of thoughts around it, but yeah, it was a stranger one. It was a stranger one.
Yeah. Probably to afford all the top sets that are coming out in the next month.
Yeah, probably that. Yeah, that might have something to do with it as well. Yeah, and Noir, all them kind of things.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah, all the new sets.
yeah.
That was good. Awesome. So I suppose next thing I wanted to kind of touch on, I suppose, was around the breaking, and I suppose break has been a lot more inventive with some of the breaks that they're doing at the minute. Again, more so that the product's getting harder to source, right? So you are sometimes maybe having to buy cheaper sets, which means you're then having to put multiple sets together that might not all be the same set. So you're seeing mixers and bits like that as well. But then you're also seeing other setups as well, which are kind of have a bit of a play on the standard kind of break. How are you guys? So what are you guys looking to do yourself that maybe mixes it up a little bit? I suppose what have you seen that you think works well, and maybe what doesn't work as well?
Yeah, I think it's a really cool concept if you can do mixes where the product that you mix actually aligns to the spots, so you can get into a break and it you know what I mean, it all marries up.
Yeah,
I think it's a really really cool concept. Obviously, prem stuff works really well. People have the ability to do that, but we did a mixer ages ago now on the even on the FIFA Select International products. We um, we mixed Serie A and Prem together, but you're able to do it where you can literally align the full team. So it's 35 spots, and within that, that meant there was two spots obviously within a spot. So these mixes were working really really well for us. But I think it's just inventive ways of people being able to break at the moment. Really, I mean, like I said, I've seen DJ Cards doing it very recently. They're doing Prem Hobby and then lining that up with what was it, Impeccable 23-24, and it just gives you that opportunity again to maybe get into something where there's just more than one box of product that you're selling. think it's really clever. But what's coming for us, I don't know. We need to have a think about it. We'll keep that one to the element of surprise. But yeah, I'm sure we'll definitely be looking at something over the next couple of weeks. That's for sure.
I still want to look at some kind of mega mix of like where you're doing countries of the players across all the different sets, but yeah, not quite formally the plan for it yet, but that could be really big.
Yeah, I suppose the hard part there is just trying to understand like what hits are available for each country. So there's a lot of, it's a cool concept to be fair, and I think it'd do quite well. It's just a hell of a lot of work on your
A
side
lot
to
of
put it all
hours in
together.
playing, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's quite cool. And I suppose we've seen people mix it up in terms of, I suppose, not just mixing the sets, but also buys, giveies. They either do one big buy givey for the end of the stream, or they'll maybe break it up. So they have multiple during the stream, which I think tends to work quite well, especially on the single side as well. To do it, so you have like maybe a short stint of, I don't know, 10, 15 minutes, and then you do a buys givey based on who's bought in that time and stuff. So yeah, I suppose just mix it up, keep it a bit more interesting. Yeah.
Yeah,
Definitely.
I think we obviously spoke about it before. It's that time period where it is hard. There's not a lot of product going about, and it's really good to see the imagination of people, and again, keeping it fresh, keeping it interesting for buyers too. I think it's only a good thing, and fair play to everyone that's kind of got their heads around, done the prep work, like you said, Kieran, to make these happen. Fair play to them and keeping it going. It is tough at the minute. It is tough. Again, like when the love of product and people fighting for product, and it's pretty hard. Um, yeah, fair play, fair play.
Yeah. But I suppose we've seen as well quite a lot recently. I suppose on the other end of that spectrum is a lot of streamers expanded. We've seen quite a few times where kind of, I suppose, streamers that maybe have just been a single streamer for a long period of time have now started to take on more streamers. Whether that is a time constraint part on their side, whether it's then trying to expand out into different bits, maybe do different like Disney and other sports and stuff like that. Yeah, I suppose. Have you seen the same sort of thing between you guys?
I've seen a fair few more people reaching out, yeah, looking like they're trying to expand and obviously have a wider reach. I think whether that means that's open up to the opportunity of, you know, different types of product being ran. But yeah, I'm certainly seeing people, and I think it's quite, you know, it's brave move and fair play if there's an opportunity for that to be done across all, you know, different breakers who have the ability to widen their reach and actually, you know, provide more coverage over different times instead of just it being themselves. It's certainly been a spike in it, I would say, over probably the last month or so. But again, this is all, it's really weird. I feel like I was sitting behind, it's all reflection, I think, of how big everything's growing at the minute. Like it seems to all tie back to that one point you just spoke about. Card shows getting bigger, product getting more expensive, more people coming into whatnot, creating this demand. It's all so topical at the minute. You see it all having like a knock-on effect across all these different topics we're talking about. And it'll be really interesting to see how that continues to evolve because more people are still signing up to break, more people are still signing up to buy. Like it, you know, I just feel like the bigger it gets, there's always a piece of the pie for everybody still at the moment. And you said about points come out when you think you're going to hit your ceiling, like the ceiling. The ceiling just never seems to come at the minute. It just seems to be continuing to grow. And yeah, fair play to those people, I suppose, who are looking at trying to expand on their own platforms and get other people involved to work alongside them, and see how that continues to pan out. I think over the coming months as we get into the Christmas period and into the new year.
Yeah, because it's so often recently you've sort of got into the stream expecting the usual person to be doing. You're like, oh, new voice, new face. What are we doing here? And I think that's what maybe something we can touch on more in a future episode. But I think that really is important. Like anything, when you're bringing somebody into your business, particularly representing your brand and your style and everything, it can be really, really significant. I think who you choose to bring in stream on your behalf and stuff. So yeah. Interesting times.
Yeah, I'd say so as well, because obviously, like, even going to the card show the other day, obviously, you recognize a lot of people because you kind of know people from that, right? Do you know what I mean? Because that's how you see them all the time when they're using kind of face cams and stuff. So you look around, you're like, okay, yeah, I know who that is. I see them on Whatnot all the time. And like you say, then people buy from people, right? At the end of the day, and it's that relationship that you build up with the audience. You guys are streaming all the time. People know. Obviously, you put your names a lot of the time within the kind of show titles because people know, okay, they're the people that I normally buy from. Do you know what I mean? So I think like you say, that's one of the big things is you kind of almost not starting afresh because you're still using the brand, I suppose, that's been there before, and you know that whoever it is going to kind of oversee what gets done, but you are buying from people at the end of the day. So there will be a bit of, I suppose, time to kind of adapt to the new person breaking.
Yeah,
Definitely.
definitely. Yeah, and I think see as well, a lot of the streamers that already have people breaking for them, I think what you often see is there is a decrease in viewers when it's not the actual streamer streaming. Obviously, I've noticed that quite a lot across the board. So like you say, it does make a point that people are coming to buy from that particular person, um, you know, quite often. So yeah, it does make a big difference. And like I say, there's a lot of people doing really well on there at the minute and making some really good business out there. A massive increase of Premier shops and whatnot as well. No, I'm doing a little plug for you boys down there. Congratulations on that.
Nice. Thank you very much. Just got to
Yeah,
keep it now.
but there's a lot of people that are smashing it. It's
Yeah.
really good to see. And I say that, and new streamers for the same platform is only looking like a good thing for the hobby, right? And it looks like it's on a big hype, even with a decrease in product availability at the minute. I think it's still looking very, very promising. So yeah,
Yeah.
looking really good.
Yeah, and I think the face cam's quite an interesting. I saw a thing a little while ago that supposedly it increases conversions, right? So you show the person that's behind the channel itself to try and improve it, but then Premier Shop as well obviously puts you kind of front and center, but also kind of showcases trust. So there's a lot of things that people can kind of do to improve that trust element, and luckily they're kind of laid out quite simply in kind of things that you have to follow that Whatnot put there for you, which is great. So yeah, like I say, long may it continue, bring more people in, and just help the hobby continue to grow. Awesome. So I suppose just before we wrap up, we have our hits of the week. I feel like we should give a very big shout out to Hot Hands Pete, who has yet again pulled a hit
Yet
that I
again.
think is worthy of hits of the week. Not that we're keeping score, but he's very well ahead of Righty at the minute for
He,
hits. But
he is, but I have to. I had to give him like the not. In, I don't know if it's embarrassment, but I had to get the clip and get it on on Instagram.
Yeah,
Oh my god!
go,
Oh my
go,
god!
go
Zach,
back and
oh my
review
god!
that.
Oh my god! This is the biggest card I've ever hit. This is the
The
biggest card I've ever hit.
thing is,
It was a good watch, to be fair.
all right, yeah,
shaking.
the thing is, for me, and I think this speaks to like how much you actually love the hobby and the players involved, is you can pull bigger cards of monetary value and you can get your Maradona numbered. And for me, obviously, relics, but an auto hits different. So when you see a Maradona auto, you're just like, wow, whatever that card is worth, if it's not as big as some of the others I pulled, it feels big to me personally. And so, yeah, it's definitely what I enjoyed the most.
It was.
yeah, I am going to learn like really good video editing skills so that I can clip that up and put that in the actual podcast. It needs to be in there.
Yeah,
So I'm going to find a way.
video.
I'm going to find a way to learn how to do it.
Yeah.
If not, we'll just share on socials. Jack's got it, so we can post it.
Oh,
I'm
I've
not
got the
gonna lie,
clip.
I thought I was on for an absolute killer one as well on the Black Gold a couple of days just gone. Started with the Messi numbered, and then we went to a Messi medallion. I was thinking, here we go.
Yeah.
What kind of box have
You
we got
did.
in? But
And I just thought to myself, oh my god, I gave him off that case. I need to get better at giving it like what I'm
Get
giving.
them out.
Oh dear, but no,
It's just touching what Peter said though about how nice it feels to pull something like that. Like you said, sometimes people, and I'm also the same, caught up in chasing monetary values of cards. Like Maradona Auto is priceless. Like obviously it doesn't sign anymore, So that is a lovely piece that it's very special, and it's very special for the person that pulled it. Quite clearly, obviously in the stream, but that pause of the week's got to be well up there as a real nice one to be.
Well, yeah, so I won't
So.
disclose the buyer as well, but absolute mad one. It was one of those that really speaks to the magic of how Whatnot can work, because they came in, got one spot, and got it at real value as well. I think it was like one of
£8.
those spots went £8,
Wow.
and then bang, Argentina, bang, Maradona. It's yeah,
Amazing.
very good
They're
day.
the feel good ones. They're the ones. Another reason why we do it, man. Because again,
Yeah.
it makes me happy, making someone else happy like that. And again, to have that piece in your hand as well, piece of history right there, for one of the best to ever do it. And again, he doesn't sign anymore, so they're really hard to come by. So yeah, mate, that's a
Well,
big one.
in that black hole as well. I mean, some of those legend autos are fantastic. I think it was the next box we had D'Oliveira, who was
yeah,
like
Oliveira, yeah.
Socrates' younger brother, and stuff. And again, it was like absolutely like class card, lovely auto.
Yeah. And that's what obviously took. That's like what we were saying about the other week about bringing some of these old sets back and finding some of the hidden gems that are still in some of these boxes that are sealed. And that is proof in the pudding why the old sets are still popular. They're still, and there's a lot of them still out there at the minute. People break them as we speak. Like products from a few years ago is still really, really fun to get involved in. Yeah, fair
And
play,
they've
mate.
still got a lot of massive hits in.
Yeah,
Do you know
yeah.
what I mean?
Huge.
Like
Yeah.
there'll be Maradona autos in half the new sets. So yeah, fair play, mate.
Yeah.
It's up
Yeah.
there.
Top work from Pete this week, or last week, shall I say.
If you're watching
Any
this,
more?
if you're watching this middle of the week, we've got National Treasures later this
Oh, there
week.
you go.
Looking forward to opening one of them. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
Just confirm who's opening that, Pete or Jack?
Pete is. I'm just going to
Oh,
stand
there you
there
go.
and
Get
talk.
in,
Pass the
guys.
baton,
Get in
Jack.
quick,
Pass the
There we
baton.
go.
quick. Get in.
Passing it on.
Yeah.
Well
Guys,
enough.
if you've not already, go and visit what a Righteous Card Up Limited channel, and go and follow Pete's show, mate, because you could be in for a winner.
It could be.
Yeah, for winner.
It could well be. And we've got to talk about buys giveaways. We've got two. We're doing 3 buys giveaways actually. We're giving away a Gavi signed shirt. We're giving away a Jack Charlton framed signed captain's armband.
Yeah.
And we are also going to give away the empty box of treasures again, because it's a nice keepsake. So three buys giveaways just for 1 box. So we do our best to give back a little bit.
Look at that.
Yeah, no, definitely so. Definitely so.
No, other hits of the week as well. I think the only other one for me was actually, I say we're talking about invented product, but was Daz, Mr. DJ Cards yesterday. It was a really nice little to 25 patch auto for Mr. Big Erling Haaland, who's back on form and scoring goals
Just
for
a
fun.
tad.
Steamrolling again, and you'll watch. I'm sure you'll see his cards come back out, and they'll be when he gets on fire like he usually does. But no, yeah, that was a beauty of a card. To be fair, from the 23-24 impeccable set, which I actually really really like. To be fair, I really like how they did the 23-24 impeccable, because they used to like make the metal card was in a little pack on its own, whereas in this
Yeah.
new set it's not on its own. It's actually within the main pack. It was like, and yeah, just the impeccable is a beautiful set. To be fair, I don't think it gets enough street cred. Like the cards are like a mega design and actually like quite arty when you look at them in terms of finish on them. But yeah, that was probably one of the biggest ones. Apart from the person who streams with me, who's completely taken over me at the minute.
Yeah, to be fair, it's weird because Immaculate seems to get a lot more attention than Impeccable. Like Impeccable comes
Yeah.
out and it seems to kind of like, I don't know, quite quickly go off, and everyone goes to Immaculate when that comes out, and then that's the longevity of Immaculate seems to be huge. It's weird how it happens.
Yeah, strange. Well, you boys, anything at all you've seen? Doesn't have to be show stopping, lads. We just call a few people out.
I think it's been a quite quiet week for his, isn't it? I mean, it might have just been me, to be fair, not watching too much myself this week. I had quite a busy week personally, but yeah, I mean, I was hoping to come into this stream with a big pull myself about the food gens case that I had, and I'm not gonna lie, I was very, very disappointed with that. Very disappointed. So I won't talk too much about that, but
Oh,
yeah, I'm quite happily moving on from that product. To be fair, a lot of people telling me, right, 40 cases made worldwide should be per case of obviously the triple auto, which we did find that the nice one, and the 1 of 1. And you're thinking 40 cases worldwide, got to be one in there. Seen everyone put them out left, right, centre. For it's gonna be lovely ones to get my hands on too. 40 boxes done now, not a single one. I was fuming about it. You know, that one is over, and on to the new ones. Hopefully, summer signings will be the next one for me. We're on a bit of a drought, so hopefully this time next week, guys, I might have one for you from personal note, but we'll see.
I've missed one out, and clearly maybe it's my addiction to whatnot now because it's how much I've watched in a week. The boys over at MGC have to call this one out. To be fair, they did the collaboration show. They did do it with Northwest Brakes, but I think it was like they were doing pack battles on Futera, and it was the new Futera, and it was Gold Frame CR7. I can't believe I missed out on that one. Yeah. Gold Frame CR7 was a beauty. I think it was like, I don't know if it wasn't a 1-on-1. I think it was numbered to 10, but wow, it was nice. Yeah. Yeah, nice card as well. So yeah, can't believe got back that one, plugged that one in. That was a good one.
Yeah, I remember I did see that on Instagram actually. I didn't see. I watched a bit of the stream, but I didn't see a lot of the hits. But yeah, it was nice.
Yeah, it was a good card.
Always nice to end on for Terra. I think that's a perfect way to finish a show, right?
Oh, it makes you happy, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So yeah, that's it for this week's episode of Cards on the Table. We've got some really good stuff coming up. We will be getting our first guest on. Don't you worry about that one. So yeah, stay tuned for that one. We'd love to hear from you guys as well. We have had some great comments, some insults for Jack specifically, but he's wearing a normal jumper this week, so it's all good. So yeah.
Right, this week's right to wrongs was wearing the right clothes.
Yeah, well, the right clothes. I thought there was nothing wrong with it, to be honest, people. But if you're gonna play that game with me, then I'll have to start fighting back every week.
That's all good. It's all engagement. It's great. But yeah, and then any topics you guys want us to cover as well. So yeah, make sure you follow and subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. And also, yeah, join the conversation on Instagram, on YouTube. And yeah, we'll be back next week.
Till next week. See you later.
Thanks, guys.
Okay, everyone, have a
Bye
great
all.
week.